Whenever you go for an interview, the very first question the interviewer asks you is, tell me something about yourself or introduce yourself. And you often get confused what to tell, what not to tell, how much to tell in response to this question. So today in this video, I'm going to tell you the correct and organized way of answering this question. And believe me, this question is one of the most important questions that interviewer asks you. Why am I saying so? Because 98% of the questions the interviewer asks you are from the answers you give to him or her. Yes, you heard it right. Always remember it's you, not the interviewer, who drive the interview. So make sure you drive it in your favor. So without any further ado, let's get started. The very first thing that you need to tell in answer to this question is your name, obviously. But let me make you aware about the mistake that many people make while introducing themselves. They say, myself, John. Myself can never be used in the starting of the sentence. Another mistake that people often make is, it is John or this is John. Come on, you are not an object. It and this are used to demonstrate an object, not a person. So what you can say here is, my name is John or I am John. Both are correct, but the most formal way is, my name is John. The next thing after telling your name is the place where you belong to. For example, you belong to Agra, so you can say, I am from Agra, or I belong to Agra, or you can say, I hail from Agra. You can choose any of the options, whichever you like. And it would be an icing on the cake if you give a brief about the place to the interviewer. Or you can leave it on the interviewer also. That's how you drive the interview. If you want the very next question, the interviewer asks you the speciality about the place, then do not mention it by yourself. Let interviewer ask you and make sure you grab the opportunity and make the best out of it. The next thing that you need to tell is your academic qualification. The common mistake that people make while telling academic qualification is they go from past to present. But you should rather go from present to past. For example, if you are currently working somewhere, then first of all mention that I am currently working in this particular organization. After that, mention your post graduation, if any, and then mention your graduation, that I am graduated from this particular university in this particular year. After that, at last, you can mention your 12th and then 10th. 10th and 12th are absolutely optional. You can skip it if you want, or otherwise you can tell it. That's up to you. But always go from present to past. The next thing that you have to mention is your family background, but in brief. You only have to tell that my father is in this particular occupation, my mother is in this occupation, or she is a homemaker if she is, and I have one or two siblings. That's it, not more than that. After that, you can mention your strengths and weaknesses. At least two strengths, or weaknesses are optional. If you want to, you can, otherwise you can skip it. You can only mention your strengths. But make sure you give examples while telling your strengths so that it will be more clear to the interviewer. For example, strengths, it depends person to person. If you are confident, you can say, I am very confident person. If you are a good speaker, you can say, I have good communication skills, I can speak well. If you are trustworthy, if you are friendly, you can mention that. So it depends person to person. You can mention your strengths, but make sure you give one or two examples with that. And if you want to tell your weaknesses, in that, try to tell that weakness which sound more like a strength. By that, what I mean is, for example, you can say, I cannot rest till the work is completed. I feel very uncomfortable. I feel restless until my work is completed. So that is a weakness, but it looks more like a strength and impresses the interviewer. So mention that weakness that looks more like a strength. For this, there is a term, workaholic, right? So you can mention that term also, that I'm a workaholic person. The next thing that you need to mention is your hobbies. But make sure to be very, very honest here. Do not pretend, do not lie. Why am I saying so? Because I have seen many people lying here about their hobbies to sound cool, and that's what eventually leads them to trouble. Let me give you an example. Some people say reading novels, even if they do not read a bit. If you say reading novels, the very next question the interviewer will ask you is, okay, so you like reading novels. Can you tell me which is the last novel that you read? Can you give me a brief about that? Can you explain the main character in brief? What if you do not read actually? Getting my point? So make sure to be very, very honest here. Whatever you mention in your hobbies, you should be fully aware about that. At last, after telling all these things, you need to tell your goal, your short term and long term goal, your goal in life. In short term goal, you can mention, I want to get a job in corporate sector, I want to get a job in bank, whichever domain you are being interviewed. And you can also say, I want to earn a lot of money and buy a house for my parents. I want to get a good and respectable job. All that things you can mention in your short term goal. And in long term goal, you can say, I want to work for the betterment of the society. I want to be in a position in the organization that I'm working in where I can take decisions by myself for the organization. Or you can say, I want to get fame and respect in the society or in the company I am working in. So that's all that you need to mention while introducing yourself to the interviewer. And at last, you can say, that's all about me. Thank you. And if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer them. I hope you find the video useful. If yes, then don't forget to like it and also share it with those who you think will be benefited from this video. And also subscribe the channel if you want more such videos. Now we'll meet in the next video. Until we meet, keep learning, keep sharing.